Okay, so for number 53, first thing we do is that we draw two velocity time graphs. And this one will be for Maggie. And this one will for Judy. Okay, so in the question it says that Maggie took 2 seconds and Judy took 3 seconds to maintain the maximum speed. That means during the first 2 seconds Maggie was accelerating to her full speed, and that Judy is also accelerating during the first 3 seconds. So if this was the time and this was the velocity, we take 2. For example, if we set this as Maggie's full speed, it will be accelerating, and so like this. So down here will be 2 seconds, and extending it here, so it's 10.2 seconds, which is the time they took to finish the race. And for Judy, it will be the first 3 seconds. And then keeping the maximum speed until the end, which is at 10.2 seconds. This is velocity. And this is time. Okay, so after drawing the two graphs, we can start trying to answer the question. So the first part of the question asks what's the acceleration of each sprinter. To find the acceleration, which is we have to find the slope of this part on the velocity time graph. To find that part, we have to first find out the what this point is, which is the y value. So since we know that the distance they took, they ran was 100 meters, we know that this area under the curve is 100 meters. So same here. And this is a trapezoid shape, so in order to find the area of a trapezoid, we use half of the sum of the base and times height to equal the area. And so here, half of this base will be 10.2 minus 10.2 seconds minus 2 seconds. And second base will just be 10.2 seconds. And then the height will be what we're trying to find, the y value. So, and the area we already know is 100 meters. Well, in 100, the displacement was 100. So to solve this, we get half of 0.2 seconds plus 10 seconds, and that is 19.4 seconds, and okay, so taking the calculator, we find that so this part is 9.28 seconds h equals 100 meters, and so h on the other side will be 9.2 seconds, and it will, so 100 divided by 9.2, we get 10.869, so 10.8 10.87 meters rounded to the nearest hundred. And so on this other side we do the same, so 100 meters is equal to half of 10.2. Now here is the top base is only 7 point, it's 10.2 minus 3, so minus 3 seconds plus 10.2 seconds times h. And solving this, we get, let's do this, 10.2 minus 3 plus 10.2, taking it, so we get 100 meters equals 8.7 seconds times the height, and then so set it aside, and the height is 100 meters over 8.7 seconds, and 100 divided by 8.7 is 11.49 meters squared. Okay, so after that, now we know that this part here is 10.87 for Maggie, and here is 11.49 for Judy. So to find the acceleration, we can just use the slope formula for this point, which is right here is 2 and 10.87, and so here is 0, 0. So finding 10.87 minus 0, the slope in here is just acceleration, and it's 2 seconds, 10 meters per second, 0, which is, so 10.87 divided by 2, that's 5.44, rounding it, meters per second squared, dividing the units. And on this side, it's, so on here we see that this point right here is 311.49, and this is 0, 0. So we do 11.49 minus 0 meters per second, and this is 3 minus 0 seconds, and then so it's 11.49 divided by 3, we get 3.83 meters per second squared. So those two, these two numbers are the answer to part A of number 53. And second part of the question asks, what were their respective maximum speeds? We actually solved this in part A. This is their maximum speed, which is, for Maggie, is 10.87 meters per second, and for Judy is 11.49 meters per second. So that's those two are the answer to part B, because that's basically what their speed that they maintain from the 3-second mark to 10.2 seconds, and 2-second mark to 10.2 seconds. And so for the last part of the question, it asks which sprinter was ahead at the 6-second mark and by how much. So to find the 6-second mark, so it's like, for example, if it's here, we already know the height, and we can calculate the base by subtracting. So it's half of 6 seconds minus 2 seconds for the top part right here, and the bottom part is just 6 seconds. and we multiply it by 10.87, which is the height of this part. So meters per second, and then this turns out to be 5 seconds, and this is 10.87 meters per second squared. So we multiply that, 5 times 10.87 is 54.35 meters, and this for Judy will be similar setup, which is 6 seconds minus 3 seconds, because right here it's 3, and if we mark it here 6, and this is only part 3. So 6 plus the base is 6 seconds, and we multiply this by the 11.49. So here we get 9, and divided by half is 4.5 seconds. Multiplied by 11.49 meters per second. So you get 4.5 times 11.49. It's 51.71 meters. Yeah, just meters. And so here we can see that Maggie over here is actually farther compared to Judy, and it asks by how much, so 54.35 meters minus 51.71 meters equals 2.64 meters. So answer to part C is Maggie. By 2.64 meters.